Reduction is expected as a result of the monthly price review by the Department of Industry, Trade, Commerce and Tourism. Central heating or gas oil is also likely to be reduced in price by about 3 pence a gallon. The reductions are largely due to the weakness of the dollar against the Irish pound during the month of July. The recent reports of the moving statue at Ballinspittle recalls other reported miraculous occurrences in the recent past in that part of the country. Our religious affairs correspondent Kevin O'Kelly has been looking at the facts.
There may be some significance in the cluster of moving statues in one region of the country. The uncorrupted body of young Mary Collins was unusual, discovered as it was in 1981. But statues of the Sacred Heart and the Blessed Virgin mirrored the traditional devotions of the Irish Catholic. If there was to be an upsurge of devotion, these images would be an obvious focus for it. Classically, like Lourdes, Fatima, Guadalupe or Knock itself, the phenomena were far from the big cities. It's probably fair to suggest that for people of deep religious faith, particularly those who live away from urban clutter in the countryside, in a way this world becomes continuous with the next. They marry and raise their crops and their families in God's good time. There is, too, a mix of magic and mysticism. After all, who will cut down the fairy tree? And why shouldn't statues move? The Catholic Church can seldom see any reason why they should move, and is always profoundly sceptical about signs and wonders on the good basis that the definitive sign was given 2,000 years ago. Well, one thing can lead to another, and there's some interesting parallels. Why the hands, for instance?
Church, and I saw our Lord's hands move up a bit, his left hand.
And how did his hand go? Can you show me how his hand went?
His hand was there first, and then it moved up like that.
Yeah. You don't think maybe you could have imagined it?
No.
And the Blessed Virgin's hands were 3 to 4 inches apart. They're separated this way now. We went home, we had our tea, we came back that night. And I'd say about 10 o'clock that night, the hands were back joined together, the way they are now today.
The facts are not too clear. And then there are people who don't see anything at all.
On Post today issued 2 new stamps, 22 pence and 26 pence, to mark 1985 International Youth Year. The stamps were launched at Portumna 85, the Scouts Jamboree at Portumna in County Galway. And this evening, the Scouts at Earth Station 2002 in Portumna are attempting a link-up with the space shuttle orbiting the Earth. On board the shuttle, astronaut Tony England, an American Eagle Scout, is awaiting signals from the Scout base. Michael Walsh reports from Portumna.
The chairman of An Post, Mr. Fergal Quinn, turned acting postmaster at the Jamboree today to mark the launch of the new stamps. Scouts from all parts of the world queued up to send the special first day of issue cover, which was designed by Thomas Flood of the first Port of Dublin Sea Scouts. Portumna 85 is bigger than many provincial towns, and all essential services are on site, including a bank, hospital, post office and supermarket. An Post say they're doing record business. So much business, in fact, that they can't yet put an estimate on it.
And our own Boy Scout broadcaster Donegal O'Dooling set out today on a marathon 1,000-mile walk round the country in aid of charity. Alan McCulloch went to Slane in County Meath this morning to see him off.
Even before Donegal started out on his walk, the cash was rolling in, as Meath became the first county to make its contribution. The 32-county trek will take a month to complete and is in aid of the Rehabilitation Institute's workshops for the handicapped.
We're walking 1,000 miles in 32 days for rehab, as you can see, and there's a great crowd gathered here. It should be 30 miles a day, something like 10 hours walking, 170 villages and 4 gigs in each one, in a nutshell.
Well, it's very ambitious. So what do you hope to achieve at the end of it?
Well, we'll hope to have achieved well over £100,000, because at £100,000 this rather strange growth will be removed. It is thought County Cork may be the place for that, but by the looks of things might make it earlier, maybe 150,000. We finish in Croke Park on the day of the Hurling All-Ireland.
And so to the wail of the bagpipe he was off, and the long road lay ahead. He will pass through 170 towns and villages. And in case he becomes lonely, many have led on special events to greet him.
And the main points of the news again. The Minister for Finance has refused further aid for the construction industry. Mr. Dukes rejected the argument that taxation was to blame. And the Department of Agriculture has banned the import of some German and all Austrian wines because of the European wine scandal. And that's the main news. See you later.
Good evening. Well, that much hope for improvement in the weather that we all expected August to bring has sadly not materialised. And the weather over the next few days has a very familiar look about it, with rain and strong winds very much in evidence. Now, today's midday chart shows a very vigorous depression in the Atlantic, more what you'd expect in the middle of winter. The warm front here associated with that depression crossed the country during the day, bringing in those strong south to southwesterly winds. The cold front will come in tonight, and it will be followed tomorrow by these blustery westerly winds. Now, this afternoon's satellite shows the frontal cloud associated with the warm front moving over the country. The more active cold front cloud here is now approaching the west coast and will cross the country tonight and early tomorrow morning. And by midday tomorrow, that cold front should be gone by here to the east, and we'll be left in this bright, showery, westerly airflow. Still a good number of isobars in the vicinity of Ireland, so the winds will be quite strong. So now for the forecast details. With a rather gloomy outlook for tonight, it'll be a wet and windy night, some quite heavy rain about, particularly in the west and north. But the rain will clear this area before morning. The winds will be from a south to southwest direction, fresh to strong with gale gusts in exposed areas. And in sea areas, the winds will range from force 6 to gale force 8. And then for tomorrow, well, there could still be some rain in eastern areas in the morning, but this will clear away as the brighter weather in the west and north extends to all parts. So the morning will turn out to be reasonably pleasant. But there the good news ends. The cloud will tend to build up again in the afternoon as showers develop, and some of these showers could be fairly heavy in the west and north of the country. There will, however, be good drying conditions with a fresh to strong westerly wind, ranging from force 6 to gale force 8 around the coasts. The temperatures there, though, are very disappointing. They're around 4 degrees below normal. And the outlook for Saturday is for a cool, windy day with blustery showers. And that's it. A very good night to you.